fire flow scenario. They have a tank that's coming out of service. We're going to utilize tank 1016 in the background behind us here, and we're going to simulate what we have to do for a full surface fire in that situation. We'll start off this morning by deploying a dept tool. We have one over here as a static display for if you guys like to look at it later. We'll go and we'll just deploy that first. That's what we would use for a seal fire. After that, we'll shut that down, and then we'll go into our external foam launch, if you want to call it that, and demonstrate what we do for a full surface fire. We have 4 pumps in operation today and 2 monitors. Both monitors can have a capacity of 6,000 gallons a minute. 3 of the pumps have a capacity of 6,000 gallons a minute. One of them has a capacity of 9,000. If you look back at this pond over here, that's a 6,000 gallon per minute pump. It's feeding the first pump here to a monitor. We'll be proportioning foam at that pump. The second pump is at the pond back straight to the east back there, and it's actually a 9,000 gallon per minute pump. It's feeding another 6 to another monitor. The 2 monitors combined will get us right at 12,000 gallons a minute. We'll demonstrate with a little bit of old foam first. Everything else we use today is red food coloring just to tint the water so we can actually see that we're proportioning. That's about the gist of what actual fires. I think we've been averaging one about every 5 to 6 years here in Cushing.
It's not just at this terminal.
Right,
Yeah,
had the one
in
south of
Cushing,
Deep Rock.
Cushing proper.
Yeah, you had the one south of Deep Rock for years.
Yes. And then as far as these drills, we don't necessarily do drills like this, but we do take all these pumps out and we flow them on an annual basis.
Now, what do you mean flow them?
We run water through them, exercise the pump, make sure everything, we check them monthly. We go through, check everything monthly, and then we actually fire them up and flow them at least annually. Make sure everything's working right.
Oil storage tanks here in the terminal. They were using both foam and water to simulate their firefighting resources. They've been using some specialized tools such as a dept tool that they would actually climb on top of the tank and install at the rim of the tank to fight a real fire. And so they've been able to get some really unique experience in utilizing some of the specialized equipment that they would need to use in the event of an actual tank fire.
Why is it important to have these exercises?
You know, it's really important for the fire department to kind of test and run through these type of scenarios. Thankfully, tank fires are fairly rare, so this is not something that they can do on a daily or a weekly basis. It's not the type of equipment that they would use on a regular basis. And so these types of deployment exercise really give them that hands-on experience in using the specialized equipment that they may not be as familiar with as some of their daily equipment that they use.
I saw, talked to a couple of the other companies here. Talk a little bit about companies, the 14 companies here working together. Why
Sure.
it's important.
Here in Cushing, we have 13 different oil storage companies that are based here, that are housed here in Cushing. Enbridge has just under 1,000 acres of storage tanks. We have just about 100 different tanks here at our facility. We're adding more, and so this particular tank that they're testing today is actually one that's scheduled for demolition later this year, so it is an empty tank. This is why it was such a great timing for them to get out and test this equipment. They can simulate this on a tank that's empty without any oil in it. Again, you know, Enbridge is one of 13 companies here in Cushing that store oil. We all have what's called a mutual aid agreement. So those of us that house the specialized equipment that's used to fight tank fires, we can have mutual aid with any of the other companies that might have a situation that the fire department would have to respond to. They can utilize that equipment that's stored here within the terminal.
Tell us a little bit about what you've learned today.
what we've learned today. We learned for a tank this size, we have the adequate firefighting equipment in this facility. Also brought with a mutual aid agreement from another facility. So we have the adequate amount of equipment to handle a full service tank fire in this facility. We've had a few on our side, a few communication issues that we're working out right now, and other than that, we've learned to handle this scenario if we need to, and it's nice to see the cooperation between the different organizations.
Why is it so important to have these kind of drills and this kind of exercise?
Any skill that you've been trained on, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So I think we all know that from anything we do. This is a skill that we don't get to train on continuously throughout the year like we would do structural firefighting or like we would do vehicle accidents, that sort of thing. So it's real important anytime we get this opportunity to come out to the field and do a full-scale scenario such as this, that we do it and keep those skills fresh.
You mentioned the mutual aid. Can you talk about just working together with the companies, and were there other fire departments involved, or was it just you and the other companies? Or?
Today it was just our fire department. In a real-life scenario, we would utilize mutual aid from surrounding fire departments around the area, especially for manpower, just to help us. There's an extensive amount of fire hose on the ground. It's hard for you guys to see from here, but we've probably got about 4,000 to 5,000 feet of 7 1/4-inch fire hose on the ground, and it's very manpower intensive. And then when it comes to a fire like this, it takes all these oil companies to come together to make sure that we can mitigate this situation quickly and safely. In the city of Cushing, I don't know if you guys are familiar, in the city of Cushing we also have an organization called SAC, Safety Alliance of Cushing. It's all the oil companies are members, fire department, police department, National Guard, FBI, everybody's a member of that. And the organization was designed for safety within the oil terminals, both fire safety and criminal activities. These are learning experiences, and one thing that we're dealing with right now is if you look at these two streams, Oklahoma guys are going, why didn't we get all this now that he's talking? If you look at these two streams though, the red stream you got all the distance on and the reach. This front stream you don't. We've got a bad nozzle. So real life situation, we would have been knocking on another door going, hey, can we borrow your monitor and trade this one out for that one so that we had two even streams. For the scenario, a lot of this is to exercise these pumps. We're just going to keep going and continue on. But there's another monitor in Cushing. Actually, I think there's two more in Cushing now. We'd go borrow one of those, bring it in place. If we didn't already have it on scene initially anyway, pull this one out, put the other one in. And, you know, the other thing that we run into here is these guys are still trying to work. They're carrying on normal business, unlike a regular fire. Regular fire, we'd shut everything down. We'd commandeer every piece of equipment we needed. We'd put stuff where we wanted it, where it needed to be, and we'd put the fire out. So